Hey, before the beginning of this video, I want to apologize. This video has been delayed. This has been recorded a few weeks ago at this point. I know we're about 10 games into the regular season for most teams, but I did want to get these videos out. I was having computer issues, thus I wasn't able to upload it. It just kept crashing on me. So hope you enjoy the video. Expect more content. I got the computer fixed, and let's get ready to go. Fan base. Now, speaking of a passionate fan base that should be passionate, is the Tampa Bay Lightning with 0 in cap space. I don't know how they're going to trick the LTIR system this go around, but it'll be interesting to see. Let's get into the notables.
They know how to do it.
That's
all we can say. Well,
9.5 for Kucherov, 9.5 for Point, 8.5 for Stamkos, 4.45 for Killhorn, 3.1 for Paul. And then, some other notables, Corey Perry there for $1 million, Patrick Maroon, the one-man franchise for $1 million. Defensively, you have Hedman, who's a stud at $7.875 mil. Sergachev is making 4.8 this season. Then next season, he will get a bump to 8.5. Ian Cole, 3 mil. Cernak, 2.95. Myers, 2.5. You have some solid guys here. And then arguably what people consider like the best goalie in the league, if not top 2, top 3, you got Andre Vasilevsky making 9.5 mil, and then Brian Elliott still in the league at $900,000 per year. I just think you need a warm body behind Vasilevsky, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's get into the lines. You got right here. They got Hagel with Point and Kucherov. Point and Kucherov do what they do. I think Hagel, you can get more out of him. He was kind of underperforming when he came over. I think it was from Chicago. He didn't do as well as they thought, but hopefully he can bounce back to what he was doing in Chicago. You got Nicholas Paul, Steven Stamkos, and Alex Killhorn. Stamkos has 5 points in 3 games. It looks like 4 of them are goals. He looks like he's doing well. You got Ross Colton, Nevstikov. I'm going to pretend I can do that. Corey Perry.
That's Nemestikov, bro.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm fucking tired. Nemestikov. I'm fucking Jesus. You know when you hear it on the announcers, like, oh, that's so simple. Then you read it, like, but Corey Perry doing his thing. 2 points in 3 games. Nemestikov 2 points in 3 games. Nemestikov. I don't care. I'm just gonna call him Vlad. Gabriel Fortier. Oh Jesus!
Good luck with that one.
And Patrick Maroon rounding up the bottom line. When it kind of comes down to it, I think the firepower is so good on this team for obvious reasons. These guys are cup winners, bona fide producers. The top line I think is going to be extremely good. I think any line that has Stamkos, Point, Kucherov, any team that has these guys will score points. I'll give them above average. I do kind of worry. Corey Perry's getting older. Can he keep up? Can he be an efficient point producer at this age? Can they get enough secondary scoring? But I think their top end's so good. I'm gonna get above average for me because I could feasibly seeing a lot of probably 3 or 4 of these guys and maybe getting 80 plus points. So, What's your opinion?
I think that obviously they have a tremendous amount of firepower.
Yeah.
But this offense needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's true. That is
that is the only thing that will hinder this offense because their firepower is ridiculous, right? Braden Point needs to stay healthy, right? Otherwise, you're putting Stamkos up there and you're losing a second line. Facts. That's what happened last season in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They didn't have Point. Stamkos moved to the line with Kucherov, things like that. You lost firepower across 2 lines and just put it all in 1 line. What does that do? It makes it easy for the other team to know, okay, well, this is a line we have to defend. Everybody else, it's obviously they do find scoring from other guys and things like that, but not as crazy as those top 2 lines could be if those guys all stay healthy. On top of that, yes, you're right. Corey Perry is getting towards the end of his career. Yeah. He has still kind of he kind of found a resurgence over the past couple of seasons with different teams. Just putting goals away. He's just kind of still there, right? You're expecting him to drop off because of the age. Small drop off, but he's still putting up points, which is good to see. Nemestikov, honestly, very solid, very good. But at the same time, you kind of expect him to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
You've always he's one of those players that people have always expected to do a little bit more. He just always falling just a little bit shy, kind of like, we thought you were going to do this, but you did this, and it's okay. But we thought you were going to do this.
I mean, but it is interesting for him that he's coming back to Tampa, right? Because that's where he started out. I think he's gone around. He's done decent production, and I think I mean, you never know. Some guys, it just finally boom clicks, and maybe kind of getting back to that situation would be better for him.
Yeah. The good thing here is that they've kept the core of these forwards together, right? Yeah. They've plugged and played with a couple of pieces here and there, but as long as that core stays together, their offensive firepower is going to be undeniable.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into the defense. You got Victor Hedman, Eric Cernak, very solid defenders. Hedman obviously is a stud, 6'6", big body, can skate. And that's the interesting though, like, because usually bigger guys sometimes like aren't the greatest skaters. You're a very good skater with Hedman. Then you got Sergachev with Fleury, and it's weird, right? Because Sergachev, I feel like, has been around forever, and he's only 24 years old. I mean, he's a minutes eater. Hayden Fleury, he's a solid defender as well. Then Ian Cole, who's been out for the first few games of the season because of that accusation, which has been cleared by the NHL. Ian Cole is a very competent defender as well. And then Felipe Myers, you're expecting him just to be a bottom pairing guy, it looks like. It seems like Fleury has gotten less minutes than Myers, so maybe that's a little bit of a competition going there. But 6'5", big defenseman, he could be a really good. I mean, I think anybody with Hedman and Sergachev, I'm going to say is a very good defense. I think Ian Cole, might be a little bit of an underrated pick. I'll say they're an excellent decor. I like a lot of the pieces that they have here. So that for me, I think this decor is very good to excellent. What are your thoughts?
Definitely like the defensive core. Again, keeping their main guys around Sergachev and Hedman. They have been playing around, they've been playing together, not necessarily on the same defensive pairing, but they've been playing together as far as the same team for quite some time. Bringing in someone like Cole is good because I do believe he is underrated. Yeah. He was on Carolina last season, right?
I believe he was in Carolina last season. Yeah. Correct.
And he's very, very good defensively and has surprising offense to himself. Yeah. It's not recorded because he doesn't really do a lot with it, but with a team like this, I feel like his offense is going to really shine this season for him.
Yeah, he's around in the 10s to the mid 20s in point production. I could definitely see with an offense like this, I could see an uptick in production for sure.
But I definitely think it's definitely one of the better defensive cores throughout the league, just because they have the experience, right? And again, they get it, right? They've earned this. What I'm about to say, as you can see my face, I'm very annoyed that I'm going to say this, but they do have that championship pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a championship type team. They went last year with Colorado and lost, and Colorado was a stacked team. But this team is going to be back in the hunt to go back to the Stanley Cup Finals for sure. Yeah. Now for the goaltenders, Vasilevsky, I don't feel like I have to say much. If you know who Vasilevsky is, he's one of the best goalies in the league. 2 games thus far this season, 1-1, 9.25 save percentage, 2.56. Where I think I don't like the backup though. I'm not a big Brian. I don't like a. I'm not a big fan of Brian Elliott. I'm not. I think he's kind of, even in his prime, he was like an okay goalie. He'd have moments where he would flash, but he was just always kind of like a average to below average at backup because like it seemed like he'd get in his own head at times. I would have liked them to either go in a youth movement there or get a more proven backup, like either or. I think when you're getting, he's technically a proven backup, but he's on the downward trend. I mean, I think last season, if I'm looking at it, let me click at it correct. If I remember last season, he finished with a pretty bad statistics overall. Yeah, like he did okay last season for Tampa Bay, 9-12, 2.43 goals against. I was thinking of the years when he was with the Flyers, that's right. But I don't know. I'm not even, I don't know. Maybe in this system he does okay, but I think if they could have upgraded there, they should have. But I mean, with so much cap spent on this team, maybe they just want to save dollars and just stay with Brian Elliott instead of looking for an upgrade. But I mean, I think with Vasilevsky, they're still a very good tandem. I just wish their backup would give you a little bit more.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that same thing. The human pretzel, Vasilevsky, right? He's elite. Very few goalies are elite, but he's one of them. He's definitely an elite goalie. He can steal a game. He can carry a team through a couple of wins. So that's good. Brian Elliott, same thing. I've never really been impressed with his game. I really do wish that they have gotten a younger player that can grow into the right position. Maybe they're doing that now. Fans, let us know. Because, I mean, I don't see anything that's going to make my jaw drop. Yeah. And say, like, oh, my God, they have this guy or this guy. Like, there's nobody in their system that's like a super bona fide, hey, this is the next coming of,
Yeah.
In the goalie position. So if they don't have one of those guys or someone who they're bringing along, they need to make sure that they draft very well for that position next season.
They have a guy on here who's 39 years old on the reserve list. 2002, he's drafted. I'm sorry, I just looked at that. What?
He's been waiting for Vasilevsky to go down, and my man is still waiting.
That's funny. Let's get into where we think they'll finish on the standings here. Obviously, Atlantic, they finished third. Atlantic was a very good division last year, so a team like Tampa finishing third, it's shows the top end talent of the division, not necessarily the bottom end. I do think for me with Tampa, I think they're probably going to get back to that top spot. I think Toronto, due to their goaltending, especially with Matt Murray now being out for a long period of time, I think Toronto is going to see a downward trend. I think Florida, it's hard for me to believe in them as a team just because it seems like there's just that mental hump. Maybe they can get over it. Hopefully they can get over it. But I see Tampa raising to 1 or 2 in this division just on their overall top-end talent alone. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I have the same opinion about Tampa. They're going to finish first or second, no lower than that. Toronto's goaltending, well, we'll get into that. How you call it, but Florida is one of those teams that they have a lot of very good players, a lot of uptick to them, but they do have that mental hub of like, we won the President's Trophies and Tampa wiped the floor with us in the first series. So will they be able to get over it? I don't know, but throughout the season, I think Tampa, as long as they stay healthy, will definitely be number 1.
Yeah.